I'm on the resin every morning. This stuff makes me feel like Superman. The mind is lit, sex drive insane. Because of your videos promoting the benefits of Shilajit, I added 100 milligrams to my husband's medicine. He has been taking this small dose for just about 30 days. He has lymphedema in his arm after cancer treatments. He has been through years of wrapping and wearing compression sleeves, and still his arm is at least 4 times the size of normal. Last week we noticed swelling started going down, and as of this week it is near normal size. The only new thing is Shilajit. Thank you, love, love. Bro, I just tried Shilajit for the first time this week. Stuff works and works strong. Good looking out, dude. Hi Steven, and thank you for the awesome video about Shilajit. I have been using Shilajit for over a month and I am already on fire. I wake up at 3:30 a.m. to go to the gym because I have tons of energy and my sleep is way up. Thanks, Nabil from London. If you've ever wondered what Shilajit actually is, what it can do, or maybe you've never heard of it before but want to learn about an ancient medicine that has served many for thousands of years, then stay tuned because this is going to be an amazing and jam-packed video, and based off of all the feedback that I get from viewers about Shilajit, trust me, you're gonna want to stick around. Every now and then, something new comes into our lives and we immediately know, okay, yep, this is gonna be in my life forever. It's a real thing now. I barely know it, but I just know it feels so right. And if you've experienced that feeling, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It doesn't happen often, and it doesn't happen with many things, but when it does happen, you know it will play a significant role in your life forever. That happened to me with video production, for example, video production and editing. I've been involved with that since I was 10 years old. I knew I was going to do it for the rest of my life. The first time I had a full real cup of coffee when I was about 18 years old, I immediately thought, wow, where has this been my whole life? I need this forever. And one of the more recent things that has had that effect on me is Shilajit. Shayla, what? Shilajit, probably the most important substance in the ancient Ayurvedic system of medicine. So I'm probably going to butcher both of these titles, but the Legacy of Karaka and the Susruta Samhita, probably two of the most influential and earliest writings of Ayurveda, speak of Shilajit, saying things like, there is hardly any curable disease which cannot be controlled or cured with the aid of Shilajit, and a cure for all diseases, as well as able to increase longevity from 100 to 1,000 years. Now keep in mind that these are ancient texts written centuries ago. Shilajit was deemed a wonder medicine, a panacea, and it is referred to as a rasayana in Ayurveda literature, which means rejuvenator. And if there is one word I personally would use to describe my experience with Shilajit over the past 2 years, is exactly that, a rejuvenator. Now, traditionally, it was used for a host of different things, from enhancing the quality of life, promoting longevity and happiness, preventing aging and disease, producing sturdiness in the body, and promoting intellect and memory, among many other things. It explains why it goes by two very unique names: Shilajit, meaning the conqueror of mountains and destroyer of weakness, and Mumiyo, or mummy, which means to preserve the body. In my research of its traditional folk medicine uses, it seems that there wasn't anything that Shilajit couldn't help with, and words like robustness, sturdiness, vitality, fertility, stamina, power, life are all words commonly associated with Shilajit. What's amazing about Shilajit is that it does not have one specific active ingredient responsible for its benefits or its actions. It has many different active ingredients and compounds that come together synergistically to form something completely unique that we've never seen before. And when you try to identify one thing or try to see it as one compound, it's really hard to grasp what it is. It's like looking at hydrogen and oxygen individually to get an idea of what water is. Since it has this very complex nature, that leaves many people feeling confused about Shilajit, not knowing exactly what the hell it is. That was me. I remember hearing about Shilajit for the first few times, like, why the hell am I so confused about this? Like, what is it? Where does it come from? So let's go ahead and clear it up. Where does it actually come from? So to put it simply, it's a bunch of organic plant matter, minerals, and microbial metabolites and soil, among many other natural things, compressed and compounded between mountains over the span of thousands or even millions of years. It's a thick, resinous pitch of mineral ooze that seeps out of the mountains at really high altitudes. It's honestly just a true product of nature. Here's what raw, unimpurified Shilajit looks like right off of the mountain. In this form, it's not pure Shilajit, but also contains rubble, dirt, and other plant matters that we don't really want. From this point, this rock-looking thing undergoes a purification and extraction process, filtering out anything that's not a natural organic part of Shilajit. Once extracted, we're left with a beautiful, real earthy tasting and smelling, sticky, tar-like substance. Let's talk about what's in it, and then we'll discuss its potent benefits and properties. So first off, a large portion of Shilajit's composition is made up of humic acids, a percentage of which are fulvic acids. Now, fulvic acid is believed to be the primary active component in Shilajit that unlocks its therapeutic and nutritional benefits. What fulvic acid does when taking in a whole food Shilajit supplement is honestly quite overwhelming, and researchers don't even fully understand how it does what it does. But fulvic acids are essentially, they're negatively charged, okay? So it attracts many positively charged trace minerals like calcium, potassium, magnesium, etc. It also has a very small molecular weight and size, so it can easily penetrate cellular membranes and deliver nutrients directly where they need to go. On top of that, it acts to enhance the permeability of the cell walls, allowing for larger particles to be absorbed as well. This aids greatly with the assimilation of nutrients and helps to equip cells with all they require to function optimally. Inside our body, what this translates to is significantly improved absorption of trace minerals and other essential nutrients. It's a driver for the good things. And fulvic acid has also been shown in vitro studies to inhibit aggregation and promote disassembly of tau fibrils associated with Alzheimer's disease. The buildup of the beta amyloid plaque in the brain then triggers tau accumulation, which disrupts the functioning of brain cells and eventually leads to their death, leading to neurodegenerative diseases. Fulvic acid has also been shown to be an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and have memory-enhancing properties. It may also chelate inorganic minerals, acting as a detoxifier. It's absolutely crazy. It basically puts the good things where they need to go and takes the bad things out. Speaking of trace minerals, there's plenty of them found inside a proper Shilajit supplement as well. Upwards of 80 plus trace minerals, all in balanced ratios and bound together with the fulvic acid that I just mentioned. That makes them ionic and much easier for us to absorb. Now, unfortunately, subclinical mineral deficiencies are quite common. From what I've read, the standard diet and foods nowadays are lacking in these trace minerals. Even vegetables, since most vegetables are now being grown in soil that's just been completely shot and depleted of all these acids, microbes, and minerals, we're just not getting them. Now all of these cells that make us require these trace minerals to function optimally. Magnesium, potassium, selenium, zinc, chromium, and more. You can think of each mineral as opening up a new electrical highway in your body. These trace minerals in combination with the fulvic acid that I mentioned helps in the transportation of these minerals into the cells for maintaining and restoring their electrical potency, which prevents ultimately their decay and their death, perhaps leading to a longer life. Lastly, there's dibenzo alpha pyrones. Now, out of these compounds that I just mentioned, this is the one that really had me digging for days on the internet. Definitely more research needs to be done, especially in humans, but from what I was able to find, it seems that dibenzo alpha pyrones are essentially a reservoir of electrons, supplying our mitochondria with more of them at a faster speed than usual. So why is that beneficial? Well, inside of our cells, our mitochondria are constantly creating life, creating energy by producing ATP. That process ultimately relies on electrons. So the larger the flow of electrons, the greater the production of ATP, and the more energy there is to power vital functions and to protect our cells. There also seems to be a really interesting synergistic relationship between CoQ10 and dibenzo alpha pyrones, where the DPBs support and enhance CoQ10 levels in the body, which leads to even greater cellular energy production. And lastly, I came across some claims and abstracts that dibenzo alpha pyrones and Shilajit are bound to carbon-60, or C60, which is a whole topic of conversation on its own, but could be another reason to its potent benefits and its extremely potent antioxidant properties. Now, there are other things found in Shilajit as well, fatty acids, amino acids, but those are the main components. But now I want to get juicy. I'm going to go ahead and fire off some of the research showing potential health benefits of Shilajit. And a good place to start that actually does a great job of summing up the scientific literature of Shilajit, and it's a review right here by Sydney Stowe. Now, to get more specific, this study right here looked at Shilajit's effects on testosterone. They took healthy men aged 45 to 55. They gave one group a placebo and another group 500 milligrams of pure Shilajit per day. After 90 days, the Shilajit group had significantly higher levels of testosterone, free testosterone, and DHEA levels. Now, this study right here looked on Shilajit's effects on chronic fatigue syndrome in rats. The results found that Shilajit helped reduce the effects of chronic fatigue syndrome, and they think that this was a result of Shilajit helping to prevent mitochondrial dysfunction. Now, this amazing review article by Carlos Gallardo and colleagues holds a lot of information and references on Shilajit, focusing on its pro-cognitive potential. They state in the conclusion that Shilajit is a potent and very safe dietary supplement, potentially able to prevent several diseases, but its main medical application now appears to come from its actions in benefit of cognition and potentially as a dietary supplement to prevent Alzheimer's disease. Shall we continue? This study right here was specifically looking at Shilajit's effect on high altitude sickness and its related symptoms. In this study, which has a lot of super interesting references, link is in the description, they concluded that in light of Shilajit's tremendous medical potential, it would not be an exaggeration to say that it can be a panacea for all human ailments and nature's wonderful gift to mankind, end quote. Are you guys hearing this shit? This is insane. This is really, really fucking cool. Okay, men, let's get real juicy. Let's talk about busting a nut and women who want to get pregnant but may be experiencing obstacles with their partner's seed. This can benefit you as well. There was a great study done looking at the effects of Shilajit on male fertility. They took 60 infertile human men and they gave them Shilajit twice a day for 90 days. At the end of the 90-day period, more than 60% of the study participants showed an increase in total sperm count. More than 12% had an increase in sperm motility. Sperm motility refers to the ability of the sperm to move, which is an important part of fertility. They also saw an 18% decrease in MDA, which is a marker for oxidative stress. And they also saw a significant increase in serum testosterone levels as well. Look, I could go on, but I'm not going to for the sake of time. All of the references that I mentioned, plus more for further reading, will be linked below if you're interested in checking those out. And as I mentioned earlier, this is somewhat overwhelming, and honestly, it's just simply incredible. The amount of downstream health benefits that this sticky goo can potentially bring us is absolutely a gift from God. It's a wonderful gift from Mother Nature to mankind. Up until this point, I did my best to list the data that we have on Shilajit, the studies, and the ancient texts, but now I want to share with you my own personal experience. Shilajit for me is something that just consistently delivers. Every time I take it, it gives me this incredible zest for life and the surge of vitality and energy that I know deep down in my gut is doing something right for me. And I truly do believe that this could help many different people in many different ways for the greater good. I feel balanced. I feel grounded, yet high on life when Shilajit is, cycled into my supplements. And I'm not exaggerating. I've been taking this for about 2 years now, and I used to take a powdered supplement from a company called Omega Organics. Now, they make some great products, but there's a problem with the powdered version is that it tastes like smoky horse shit. It has an absolutely weird Shilajit taste, and I used to bear it in my coffee every morning, but there's no need to go through that nasty pain to reap the benefits, because the best way to get Shilajit is in the form of the resin itself, which many companies sell. But there's a problem with that too. You gotta scoop a small pinky nail size of it into some warm water, you wait for it to dissolve, and then you drink it. It takes time, it doesn't mask the taste, and it's a bit inconvenient to do so. It's great, but it's just inconvenient. Now there's also capsules, but again, that's a powdered form and reliability is an issue with Shilajit. We do wanna go with the resin. Sourcing seriously does matter. And in the review article that I referenced earlier, they stated under the potential risks section, so it is a real issue, and I don't want to scare you by saying that because there are some reputable companies out there. You just have to find them. So as I wrap up this video, I want to share with you the form and the product that I personally take. I take this product right here called Panacea from a company called Life. It's 150 tablets of pure Shilajit resin. They source their Shilajit from the Siberian mountains in Russia, and what's very, very important as to why I went with them, number one is the form factor. It's very convenient, but number two, they have third-party lab certification, lab analysis, testing their Shilajit resin for heavy metals, for toxins, contaminants, anything like that, and it's tested to be high in these humic substances with no contaminants. So it's a lab-tested, pure Shilajit resin, dun, 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 in really fucking cool little tablets. So if you look in here, they put Conqueror of Mountains, Destroyer of Weakness on there, which is really cool. But when you open it up, you get these little tablet pouches that you would pop an aspirin out of or something. And when you pop it out, what you get are these small little black Shilajit resin tablets, as you can see right there. And what's really cool is that it's just pure Shilajit resin. There's no other ingredients, and that's what I was skeptical of when I first saw this form. I was like, okay, what's in there that's gonna help it keep its shape or whatever? And the truth is that there's nothing in there. I don't know how they exactly do it, but even if you let it sit in your hand for a little bit, because of your body temperature, it'll even start to kind of melt and ooze. And you can even see on my finger already, as I'm kind of touching it, that you can see the resin is already kind of getting on my finger there. So pure Shilajit 200 milligrams, what you do is you just pop it out, pop it in your mouth, you get a cup with a baby picture of your daughter, and there you go. You just dose yourself in 15 seconds with pure Shilajit resin. So it's only 40 bucks a box. I do have a discount code with them, which makes it 15% off, which is I think like 34 bucks a box. I would highly suggest you pick it up. One box is more than a month-long supply. If you're dosing yourself with 400 milligrams a day, that is about 75 days worth. That's over 2 months of pure Shilajit resin for only 40 bucks, less than 40 bucks if you use my discount code, which is absolutely insane. But as I mentioned, most importantly, they have lab tests for their product. So I don't care where you buy your Shilajit from, as long as it's a pure form and they have proof that they can show you that it is pure Shilajit with no heavy metals, contaminants, or anything like that. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit that thumbs up. Worked really hard on it, did a lot of research. If you aren't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. I'm super pumped. Try Shilajit, it absolutely fucking rocks. I'm not a doctor, this is not medical advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own research. I'm just a guy talking to a camera in my bedroom. I'll see you guys next week. I love you, have a good one.